Welcome to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis and hanging out. He's back. He is back, the one and only. My second favorite Hamptonian.
Knowing what you mean, I accept that.
Will Sutton.
Good morning, New Orleans. How are you? Happy to be here. I am blessed. The Lord woke me up, put my feet on the floor, and here I am, got me to our Black Talk radio station with my friend Eddie.
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
this is a treat.
Yes, it is good to hang out with you, man.
Yeah, this is good. I was away in Savannah doing an accreditation site team visit. Not exactly the most exciting stuff for lots of people, especially since it's lots and lots and lots of things to read. So I'll just give one example. One part of the package of what we had to read was 700 pages.
Oh, ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
And their meetings morning, afternoon, and night.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of work, but it's really important. And shout out to Savannah State University and Dr. Jermaine Worrell. They're doing fabulous things. Watch out for them.
Yeah.
Watch out for them.
That's a good thing. I've heard that. Well, first of all, I have never been to Savannah, but I've heard
It's a
good
pretty
things.
place.
Yeah, I've heard that Savannah's a really, really nice city. But I've heard that Savannah State is actually a pretty nice campus. It's one of those campuses I would love to visit. And yeah, that would be actually pretty cool. I actually have a frat brother by the name of David Hand, who was a quarterback for Savannah State.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, David is a 6'7" white dude.
What? A couple of wow.
He
things
is
there.
He is enormous, and I met him at at a fraternity convention. So he's walking down the corridor, and he's big white dude walking down the corridor in his Alpha Blazer.
You're right.
And I'm just like, who is this giant walking down? Who is this dude?
Yeah.
And he says that he is the nicest person. And we talked for a little bit, and I just looked at him and I said, "Who do you play for?" And he just laughed and he said Savannah State. And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, right.
I said, "Okay."
Oh, boy.
I said the conversation just got more interesting.
Yeah.
And he loves talking about it though. It's funny. He is one of two white frat brothers of mine who has been a quarterback at an HBCU. Now that I think about it.
Wow.
So the other is oh golly, what's the brother's name? Robert. Why can't I think of he's gonna kill me. But Robert was a quarterback at FAMU. And his story is really funny because he's from California. And he went to FAMU sight unseen. And so he gets to FAMU and he calls his parents. No, his parents drove him. So they drove from California to Tallahassee. And they get to Tallahassee, and his parents get out of the car, and they're looking around, they're walking the campus, and his parents say,
Are we at the right place?
Is this Wade? I mean, you and they said, is this we only see black people. And he said, oh, yeah, I guess this is a black college. And so they had no idea. And he said he walked around and they appreciated how warmly they were greeted. And he said, no, I want to stay here. I want to give this a shot. And he wound up playing quarterback for FAMU. He was a rattler. He was a rattler.
All right.
Rattler,
All right,
strike again.
Yeah, those rattlers.
Yeah. So it's good to hang out with you this morning. Very, very good. We have a lot of things to talk about this morning.
Man, there's so much going on.
There's a lot going on. Besides getting ready for some really cold weather tomorrow morning.
Yes.
7:30 a.m. Wayne Pursell is going to visit. He is the president of the Animal Wellness Action and Center of Humane Economy. That's going to be a call-in, and he's going to talk about new developments in legalizing cockfighting in Louisiana, which this should be a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds,
For those of us of a certain age and stage,
yeah,
that was like a country thing,
yeah,
and very serious about it. And but it wasn't like there weren't cocks and chickens in New Orleans, and not this like highbrow kind of chicken with these super houses and everything in the backyard. So I know that my grandmother, Nanny Pearl, had chickens in the backyard,
yeah.
but there was she was after the stop them from fighting.
You mean she wasn't trying to make a couple of
No,
dollars?
no, 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 no. I mean, because in her view, that was like fewer eggs.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's so that ought to be a pretty interesting conversation.
That's gonna be great.
And there's a story that you sent. No work, no school, no shopping. What to know about the national anti-ice strike on Friday and Saturday, today and tomorrow. So that's something I can't wait to get into. That is a very interesting. That's a pretty interesting development.
Yeah, you know what I find interesting about things like that is boycotts and protests and all. It's not like I don't want to see them,
Right.
and oftentimes with a number of them, it's like, yeah, get it, but it's like, well, what's the end goal?
Yes.
What is the end goal?
Yes.
And where does that energy go after that? So in this particular case, I am wondering how many people plan to participate.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's not like meet at this place for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a group outside of City Park at the end of Carrollton yesterday, late afternoon into the evening. Signs and everything and honking and all. But it wasn't like it was like hundreds of people. But there was that demonstration, anti-ice and dump Trump and all of that kind of thing. So they obviously kind of move around. But what this is aiming for is show your support by not showing up.
Mm.
It's like, and not showing up like at work. It's like, whoa. So-
That is an interesting ask.
Yeah.
That is a very interesting ask.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate protests, absolutely. But it is it's not lost on me that you have the protest culture, but then you have the culture of the people who want to close the deal. They want to go in and say, okay, well, the protest happened. That called attention to the problem. Now we have to figure out how to negotiate the terms. And what I find that we often have is we have this clash between the protesters and the negotiators, where the protesters say, don't do that, don't give up anything. And the negotiators are saying, I need you to let me work.
Right.
I need you to let me go in and do this thing. And I know you don't want to hear this, but we're going to have to give up something to get something.
Right.
And to me, that's where the clash happens a lot of times. And I do wonder in this particular situation with this particular ask,
Yeah.
what is the end game?
Yep.
Where do you think this thing is going to go? So
Well,
we are back in here. We're going to take a quick break right now. But Eddie Francis, well, I've been saying in for Will Sutton all week. Will is here.
In for Will Sutton, and here's Will Sutton.
Yeah, there we go. We can do both things at one time. It's the Good Morning Show at WBOK, New Orleans is listening to
all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4
Good
p.m.
Friday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. The city of New Orleans is activating its freeze plan ahead of the Arctic Air. Shelters will open at 4:30 p.m. at the Rosenwald Recreation Center, Ozanam Inn, and the Salvation Army, and also the Low Barrier Shelter. They will remain open through Sunday. Olympic sprinter and former LSU track star Sha'Carri Richardson is facing legal trouble after an arrest in Florida. Officials say Richardson was arrested and charged with speeding Thursday. Police say the 25-year-old was clock driving more than 100 miles per hour on a parkway outside of Orlando. We're told Richardson was also dangerously tailgating and changing lanes to pass other drivers. The arrest marks the latest legal issue for Richardson, who last year publicly apologized following a domestic violence arrest involving her boyfriend. All right, Carnival season kicks off in high gear with a whole host of parades happening this weekend. The Crew of Titans rolls today at 6:30, starting at Spartan Drive and Highway 11 in Slidell. And the Crew of Bohem rolls at 7 p.m., starting at Decatur and Mandeville, and rolling through the French Quarter. There are also several parades rolling tomorrow and Sunday, including Crew de Vue, Crew Poseidon, and Thea. Be sure to download our free parade tracker app and front and back end tracking, plus new enhancements like location sharing and closest parking. All right, tonight the Pelicans are throwing a big carnival party in the Smoothie King Center. The fun takes place at the Pels take on the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. There will be a pregame happy hour, halftime performance, and meet and greet with the one and only King Cake Baby. And make sure you get there early because some fans will get a special Pelicans-themed garden gnome. Tip-off is set for 6:30 tonight. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day. Stay warm out there.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time. Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis and Will Sutton.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Back, the man is.
I am back, and happy to be back with our WBOK family of listeners. We appreciate you being online, checking us out on YouTube or wherever you are.
Mm-hmm.
And those of you all still attached to AM radio.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
Absolutely, we appreciate that.
And these days, oh my goodness, how about radio listeners and watchers?
Yes. So we got Orangey 96 on YouTube who is watching right now. He pointed out that James Gregory was the first white quarterback at Grambling State in the 1970s.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there we go. All right. So thank you, Orangey, for that.
And that HBCU with that quarterback had a movie made.
The White Tiger.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember. Didn't Bruce Jenner play? I think Bruce Jenner played the lead.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Bruce Jenner played the lead in that movie. Then of course we have our Facebook family, always locked in, always interacting. Paul Jensen, good morning. Mel Ma, Professor Martinez, thank you so much. Appreciate you listening as always. So let's talk about this anti-ICE strike happening today and tomorrow. And so this is a story, Will, that you sent from WWLTV.com. Where the story says that a national strike and hundreds of protests against ICE activity in communities are scheduled across the country on Friday, today, the 30th, and tomorrow, Saturday, the 31st. The latest round of action comes after the killing of two people, of course, Renee Good and Alex Preddy. And so the article goes on to say that the people of the Twin Cities have shown the way for the whole country to stop ICE's reign of terror. This is according to nationalshutdown.org. And this is what it says on the homepage, that we need to shut it down. No work, no school, no shopping. Stop funding ICE. And the website map shows dozens of actions happening across the country, along with groups that endorse the mission. This to me is this is I'm really trying to figure out the kindest way to talk about this, but this is I would call this a privileged protest.
Okay. I hear you. I think I know where you're going.
How are you going to ask people to not go to work or go to school? Do you know what happens to black people when we don't go to work and go to school? Because
I hear you.
who is organizing this? And the other thing is, how long have you been trying to organize this? I mean, listen, I am all for people coming together to do what we have to do to advocate for what we want. I'm all for it. I want it, right? I want this. But it's interesting right now to see how a lot of the protests are coming together. And on social media, you have this wave of people who have been saying since the administration began last year, Jesus, it's almost been a year already. It's been the longest century in 1 year. But you have had a bunch of people get on social media and flat out ask, where are the black people in this?
Right.
And of course, black folks are saying, we've been dealing with this since, I don't know, Plymouth Rock. I mean,
we know these actions.
We know what's happening. And something that OT and I talked about earlier in the week is how when we did have civil rights protests, there was organization and planning and strategy. It wasn't, let's go to the Pettus Bridge, y'all, and walk across and let's see what happens. Like there was strategy. There was a lot of stuff that went into this. This comes across as we want to do something about it, and y'all got to come with us because
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
I appreciate what folks are doing. I appreciate it, but I'm not exactly sure that they understand. This comes across as honestly a bit tone deaf.
All right, so I'm going to push back on this a bit. Okay. So, as much as it feels to me like this seems a bit crazy to ask people not to show up. When I saw what happened in Minneapolis last week with those protests, and they continued, and they grew, and they identified a day where some of everything would be shut down, including businesses in the protest area. And the businesses agreed to close for business. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, you giving up a day's wages, a day's work, a day's revenue to be in support. And I have to say that was Minneapolis focused. This is nationally asking everybody to do it. I don't see New Orleans, Jefferson Parish businesses closing down in support of this. I don't see that happening.
That's kind of my point.
Right.
Yeah.
But one of the things, there were quite a number of things that happened since the first shooting and murder of Renee Good. And then the second one with Alex Preddy. But one of the things is, and they're not going to say this, is the ICE guy who was leading this is no longer on duty.
Right. Bovino.
Now, yeah. Now, they're not saying these things are tied together, but the timing seems as such that he's no longer on the scene. He's not rolling from city to city. And so the new guy, who is questionable anyway, is coming in. And one of the first things he says is, we're going to have a more targeted approach.
Yeah.
So we're going to narrow this down. He didn't say we're going to stop, but we're going to narrow it down, which, depending on what his definition is, could be good, since so many of these people we now realize have been picked up for no good reason.
Yeah.
They are citizens, they are employed, they have green cards, they're working, they've never committed a crime. One guy had a parking ticket. I mean, come on, that's definitely not targeted.
Yeah.
So if they do, quote unquote, target who they're going after, And if they come up with, quote unquote, some of the worst, then there's not going to be a lot of people saying we want to keep the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
But so there's that element. And so would that have happened without the killing of those two people? Would that have happened without the response? Would that have happened if businesses didn't get involved?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we got Dell calling in this morning. Good morning, Dell. How is everything going?
Good morning. Everything is great, man. How are you guys doing?
Doing
Fabulous,
well.
fabulous. Welcome. Good morning.
I'm trying to figure out, when did this become Black people's fight? We were dealing with the element of the jump out boys from the 90s up until the mid 2010s, 2013 to 2014. I don't ever recall seeing anyone file an injunction for them to not arrest any Black people, because that's what we're being targeted. You know, the thing that comes to mind when Malcolm X was on the campus of UC Berkeley, and a young white woman came and said she admired what our struggle was, and how can she help? What could she do to help our struggle? And Malcolm X said, nothing. Basically, mind your business. I'm trying to figure out, when did any Somali, any Mexican, or anybody who's a target of arrest of ICE has ever asked any of these white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, we need your help. And I mean, that's the way I see it. But I see a lot of people, especially Black people, giving the time, the attention, and the air to things that's not beneficial to us. Now, if we were a target, yes, sir, it demands our attention. It's not our problem. It's not our business. That's just the way I see it.
So let me push back on that, Dell. So,
thank you, Dell. Appreciate your call. Oh, you're going to keep them on.
Yeah. Do you consider Somalis Black?
It's not about whether it's not about whether or not I consider Somalis Black. The reality is, this does not deal with foundational Black Americans.
Okay.
That's where I see it.
Okay. So then we have Trump and some of his minions saying,
I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned about Trump, sir. Because Trump is not my concern. I have bigger fish to fry within the Black community than Trump. I don't give a. And see, that's the problem. We look for something to focus our attention on, other than the things that actually matter.
Well, I mean, so I can see both sides of what you're saying, absolutely. Because this does frustrate me a bit, because my question with this sort of thing is, okay, who's at the table? Who from the Black community is at the table with this, right? On the other side of that, though, one of my questions is, and I'm with Will on this part, is how do we plan for when it comes to our doorstep? And I know it's been at our doorstep.
Well,
I know it's been there. It's been there. It's never left our doorstep.
Under different names. And
I'm going to say this. I'm going to yield because I know there are other people that are listening and probably want to call in. We've gotten more done as a community, as Black people, before we had a seat at the table. Meaning that we don't really need a seat at the table, but that's a scapegoat in ideology. Think of the number of institutions that we've built prior to us having a seat at the table, and compare it to the number of institutions we've built since we've had a seat at the table. Then you got me. You guys have a good morning.
All right. Thank you, Dell.
Thank you so much, Dell.
Appreciate it. And Ken, I know you're on the line right now, but we have a 7:30 interview coming up. So Ken, we're going to try to come back to you now unless we want to try to take this call really quickly and then go to commercial break. Jared, the super producer, what do you think? Take him? All right, let's do this. All right, Ken, we got a couple of minutes. What you got?
Good morning, guys. Real quick, I understand what Brother Dell is trying to say, but as you aptly said, when it comes to our door, well, guess what? It's at our door. It's what happened with the Nazis. The priest, and I can't call his name, and somebody else can fill that in. When I did nothing and they finally came for me, well, they're coming for us. They're already here. They're at the doorstep. My thing is this. I heard y'all when he talked about what we did build when we had it, didn't have a seat at the table. Well, can you get people to do that now? You know what? The answer is no, because folks are too worried about themselves and whatever they're getting. Boss, let me be that one. You know, Clarence Thomases of the world, Wesley Hunts of the world, all them kind of folks right there. Now, when we start doing boycotts again, when we stop supporting things, we want things in New Orleans East, don't make your tape register run in Metairie. And guess what? You will get services. You will get things, because when they're not getting that revenue, they will come. But most importantly, are Negroes voting? No, we're not voting. And until we vote and until we harness our capital, which is the key to build all the things that Dale talked about, we ain't got nothing happening. With that said, folks, y'all have a good one. I ain't going to go no more crazy. And I want to see some people step up.
All right. Thank you, Ken. I really appreciate it. All right, we're going to go to commercial break because coming up, we do have an interview, and that is with Wayne Pacelle, and he is the president of Animal Wellness Action and the Center for a Humane Economy. Eddie Francis, Will Sutton, and this is the Good Morning Show, WBOK, New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Decent start to the day. Highs will be 56 to 62, but then a cold front actively moving in. By the time we get to tonight, 23 to 30 degrees. But then for your Saturday morning, we could be feeling like the single digits and the teens. Saturday's highs only 35 to 40. We could see gusts up to 40 miles per hour, so it's going to be very cold for all the parades, and that cold weather continues into Sunday morning. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com. What if just $50 could open the door to your new home? Godan's is inviting you to enter their Key to Your Heart house raffle, where one ticket gives you a chance to win a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in the city of New Orleans. The drawing will happen on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Tickets must be purchased by February 12th at 11:59 p.m. Enter now at RayzeE.it/Key to Your Heart.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite. So I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funniest story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
New Orleans doesn't need on-the-job training. We need experience and results. John Johnson brings proven leadership and real accomplishments. He's helped secure funding for critical local projects, and he's worked directly on policies that strengthen public services and protected taxpayers.
I believe government should work for neighborhoods, families, and small businesses. That's what I've done, and that's what I'll do in the state Senate.
Experience matters. Leadership matters. John Johnson for State Senate.
Paid for by John Johnson for Senate.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis and Will Sutton.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans.
The man himself. So we did have an interview scheduled, Wayne Purcell, but we'll see if Wayne calls in to talk about new developments in legalizing cockfighting in Louisiana. Until then, though, we had a heck of a conversation going about the no ICE protests going on across the country. Part of the protest is asking folks not to show up for school or to work, and that is today and tomorrow. We're not exactly sure what we're going to see in New Orleans or the New Orleans area, but what happened throughout this conversation, the question came up, and Dell asked this question flat out, when did this become black people's fight?
Right.
Yeah. Part of my concern is that we do have protests that are being organized, and they should be organized. These protests need to happen because, to your point, Will, Minneapolis was just this concentrated ball of energy and concern and confusion and anger and actions by untrained and rather hateful people, by the way. Let's not leave that out with some of these ICE folks. I mean, it seems like they need to put whatever hatred they have somewhere. And somebody gave them a badge and a gun. And so we have that as well mixed into this. So mixed into all of this, I think, is the question of, where do black people sit in this? Dell says we don't sit in this. Ken calls in and says, yeah, but,
we do.
We do. And I, to me, all things are true here. I mean, there is this question of you want to do the protest, and it's not lost on any of us in the black community that there is a lot of concern and a lot of anger because now it is at another community's doorstep, and black folks are sitting here going, "Oh, y'all didn't know this is how it worked out? You didn't know this is how it works? Oh, this is exactly how it works. Everything that you're protesting right now, we have been through again and again and again, decade after decade after decade, and the cycle keeps on going." But I do think there's a compelling question on the table of what does Black America do in this moment? What is our role in the strategy? And please give us a call, 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. What do you think, Will? I mean, where do we sit in this?
Well, how about we go back to 2020 George Floyd?
Yeah.
We had demonstrations, we had protests, we had lots of situations that didn't result in death, but we had black people killed before George Floyd.
Yeah.
And part of the main difference with this one was the video that people saw and like, oh my God.
It was a murder.
Horrible.
It was a murder on video.
This is horrible.
Yeah.
And so that caused more and more black people to say, stop. And non-black people too. And so that became something that moved out of a town in Ohio to across the state, to across the region, to across the nation, to across the world. And we had Black Lives Matter. Now, there were people who were like, no, all lives matter. But, they kind of didn't get it. They kind of didn't get it. But the reality is a lot of people came to be awakened by what happened and by those movements and some things that change.
So I want to ask a question. You described the all lives matter response as people not getting it. Is it them? Is it the fact that they didn't? Is it the fact that they said that because they didn't get it, or were they saying that to invalidate our concerns?
I think there was some of both.
Yeah.
But I think there was a lot of people who didn't get it. I think. I think they're.
You think they genuinely did not get it?
I think the message got lost on them, and because they didn't find themselves to the point of getting it, they got angry.
Yeah.
And they got tired of hearing about it. And over, and it's like, I have no time for this. So it was like anti-Black Lives Matter, and they didn't even know what they were opposing.
Interesting. So on Facebook, conversation starting to really fire up on Facebook. Paul Jensen, good morning to you. Q Jones says, Karen Marks. Well, good morning, Q Jones. But Karen Marks said, enjoyed the last two calls. Each were correct, in my opinion. Linda Lewis says, that's right. They are just cherry picking those of other ethnicities until they go buck wild on us. Good morning, Linda Lewis. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Shannon Swift, good morning to you. She says, we can stop being reactive and be proactive. So and Shannon Swift does the opinion, they get it, but they don't care. And so I think there's so many different ways I think there are several different ways to look at this. So for me, and I go back to the conversations that OT and I had earlier in the week when we talked about how the civil rights protests worked because they were so strategized. They were so organized. There were these codes. There were these codes for attire even during the protests. Like there was so many codes, but the strategy was so. God bless Bernard Rustin, right? There was just so much strategy involved. And I think this is why I said these protests that we're seeing right now, they should happen. But they do also come across to me as protests of privilege, because for Black folks, if we are strategic, we're going to have some big problems. So we have to be strategic. We have to be smarter than the average bear. We have to be. We have to figure out how we are going to, in our numbers, and the numbers that we have that don't match up to the numbers across the rest of the country, we have to figure out how, with the small group that we have throughout the country, numerically, we have to figure out how to make a big impact, how to get more out of less. And we've done that time and time and time again throughout history. And so that's why it's really interesting to me to really have an idea of where we sit in this particular moment, because all of the stuff that has been done to us throughout history is now starting to work against other communities. And it's sitting at other communities' feet. And now they're saying, oh, wait a minute. No, this is wrong. And we're going, well, yes, it is wrong.
Right.
It's been wrong for a long time.
Right. Well, there's been a lot of progress since the civil rights days for good reason. And I don't think what's been done would have happened without a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have happened without the infusion of Black fire into politics and government, economics, and the idea of legislation and use of the courts to battle some of these things. Some of these things, people are attracted to the court cases because they're looking at having long-standing impact, and they don't mind the grassroots drudgery of filing motions and gathering the information and others are attracted to a protest.
Yeah.
I need to be about something. I need to be there, but they're not into the paperwork. So I don't think we would have had the progress that we've had saying this is the only path.
Yeah.
And now what's happening, and I hope more and more people realize this, is they see the progress made, and they don't want more progress. So they want reversal and stop. And while we're at it, yes, this is hurting black folks, but I know y'all like us. You'll understand along the way. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
wait a minute, which is why you find some Republicans kind of having some tepid responses to some of the moves from the Trump administration on things like cutting FEMA. It was like, well, wait a minute. So where's that help going to come from? It's not just the date of the natural disaster and the few days after. It's like an ongoing thing. And it's like, well, y'all figure it out.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. How are we going to figure that out? With what money? Don't worry about that. Not our problem.
Yeah.
So, and then same thing with ACA, Obamacare.
Yeah.
It ain't a black issue. Whole lot of folks finding out now, oh, is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, especially when they found out Obamacare and the ACA are the same thing.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. We got Pop Jones on the line this morning. Good morning, Pop Jones. How are you?
Good morning, Will and Eddie.
Good morning,
Good
Pop.
morning, Pop.
You know what? You already know I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Come on, Pop. Come on, Pop. We need different knives, different knives for different things.
Storm and the rain. And I know a little something about what's going on in the civil rights and sitting at at Woolworths and all this stuff, all the great civil rights people. So first of all, I think we as a people, if we hold back the green, that would help us. Then the next thing, they don't listen to all the people that has wisdom, knowledge first. But knowledge without wisdom is no good. You got to use it. But they forget about older people. You don't know nothing. You haven't seen anything. Just like voting. Well, we had to go through just to vote, which I didn't have to go through it. My mama and dad had to go through it. I was able to vote, register immediately. So I think we could solve a lot of our problems yesterday. Nobody's not going to do it for us. That we don't do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, I know some people say, well, you keep talking about us. I don't know. I've been on this planet a long time. And, man, I've been through the storm and the rain. And my people have come from a long ways. And I think we could solve a lot of our problems. We make a lot of people rich. Help ourselves.
So, Pop, I got a question for you. You're at a different place in life, and but this is supposed to be a national protest, anti-ICE, and they want people to stay away. And one of the things you mentioned was not giving them money, not patronizing certain places. How effective do you think that is, and is that something that you think you'll do today or tomorrow as this national movement continues?
Wait.
They're asking people not to go to businesses and not to go to work and not to go to school. Do you think that's a good idea?
Oh, not you mean not to go to work and not go to school?
And not to go to school and not to support businesses that are open and asking some businesses to close. Is that a good idea?
I don't know. Who am I talking to? Will?
Yes.
Yeah.
it's different strategies, that you have to use. I don't know whether there's any one particular thing that you can do, because they got a lot of people that's much, much, much more knowledgeable. But there's different ways to fight. But the one thing I know, Will, is this. The rich don't make the rich rich. Huh?
All right,
See,
now.
look,
What you
see
talking
the
about,
people-
Pop? What
see
you
the
talking
people
about,
that's-
Pop?
This is so foolish. You're going to hurt the people, the calf that laid a golden egg. How you going? Where the money gonna come from?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That sounds. Even though you're a billionaire, you got all the money, but you're gonna hurt the calf that laid a golden egg, and that's the poor people in the middle class. We the one that run to the stores and keep everybody. What's his name that supported the president?
Which one?
The one from South Africa.
Oh, yeah, Musk.
Musk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would he think he'd be rich without the middle class? Would be the richest man without the middle class and the poor people? Would he be the richest man? Where would his money come from?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And
Absolutely.
Pop, we got to run because we got to try to take another call, but always appreciate you as always. Thanks a bunch, Pop.
Thank you very much for taking my call, gentlemen.
All right.
You
Have
got
a blessed day.
Y'all have
Yeah.
a blessed one.
Yeah. So, we do have, excuse me, we do have, oh, we don't. Okay. So let's get to Martin right now. Martin, good morning. We got a couple of minutes here. What you got?
Yes, sir. Let me just rip for a minute if I can. First of all, let me say thank y'all for taking my call. And if you're older than me, I thank you for what you passed from your generation to mine. All that
Will appreciates it.
we always got we as in the black people, to me, we always got to play a part in their movie or whatever go on, and everything just pushed down to us. We always on the defense. We don't have no agenda. Our churches failed us because they're weak now. When they become 503(c) and all that, and then to me, the new FBI agent in the area becomes the pastor. They never speak out against government. When the police kill one of our children, they get on TV and they say, "Let us pray." They walk away still with no agenda. But my thing, I think we really don't have an organization at all. But all of this going on is not invisible. I like the Republicans better when they was faking it. And then we have some of these men now that so-called our leadership in Jefferson Parish. They already programmed to do whatever they say do. They program them. They tell them, well, you made it. They didn't. You did the right thing. You carry their books. That's why we have a lot of foolishness go on in the street. Just even with the block parties, all that. We can't get them to turn out to vote. Then when we do vote, we still don't have an agenda already made up for us. We just hoping that they go there and do what they supposed to. I see a lot of our black leaders right now. You know, they remind me of this Tim Scott guy. And it's not invisible, man. The generation before me, they really failed these children that they see walking around right now today. They narrowing everything down to segregation, but I know it'll never ever be like the men that they had before that got off the sidewalk for the white man to pass. That ain't gonna happen. So I just wish y'all would quit weakening the bloodline. Y'all sound like a bunch of men that's raised by women with I feel. Just make a statement on saying what you're gonna do, because it really disturbs a lot of people out here. Nobody never comes out for the black people. We still 58 years later after Martin Luther King was killed, jobs, voting, police brutality. If black people go out there and protest, it's going to be an open season on those black people. If that was black people on January the 6th, would have did that, it'd have been a bloodbath. And then they excuse all that and still let the people out. I thank you for taking my call. I really needed to get that out. But you have a lot of people hurt out here. And
All right, thanks a lot, Martin. I really appreciate you. Thanks a bunch for giving us a call. All right, we're going to come back in just a little bit. A lot of comments on Facebook, and we're going to get to those in just a couple. Eddie Francis, Will Sutton, the Good Morning Show on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by Lowe's.com. The arrow is pointing up for women's sports and is starting to attract the attention of investors looking to break into the sports world. Melody Hobson is co-CEO and president of Black-owned Wall Street firm Ariel Investments and is part of a new venture there called Project Level. It's dedicated to investing in women's sports. On stage recently at a Bloomberg event, Hobson says she sees investing in women's sports similarly to how she sees investing in small cap companies.
Smaller companies tend to grow faster. And we say the big guys, it's going to be harder to grow the way they've grown in the past. But the women have a big trajectory of growth in front of them. So this is where value meets growth.
The big guys she refers to are men's sports franchises. Hobson feels getting in on women's sports now could lead to big wins for investors down the road. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner. On the Black Business Beat.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. That's 800-917-8730.
I'm David Patan Sr., owner of Whole Water and Food Over Medicine Academy, coach, consultant, and instructor. We're excited about our 21-day challenge. Stop, prevent, and reverse disease today. Cholesterol, diabetes type 2, high blood pressure, along with chronic illnesses and diseases. We believe that the gift of wellness is the greatest gift, and for $30 per month, $1 a day, you could have this gift for you and your family.
I'm Phyllis Washington, and I've benefited with health and weight loss.
For your gift of $30, healing and wellness can be yours. Call 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. The Whole Water Store. See you at 2135 Washington Avenue today.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and do not have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you do not pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call. If you've been injured in an auto accident, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
The Ron Kelly Show. Real talk, bold truth. Tune in for your weekly dose of unapologetic conversations that don't dodge the truth or dilute the message. Stay informed on the issues that matter most on The Ron Kelly Show. Every Monday at 7 p.m. on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis and Will Sutton both hanging out this morning, and very spirited discussion that we have going on Facebook right now. So if you want to join that discussion, make sure you go to WBOK 1230 AM on Facebook. Also, you can join us on YouTube. WBOK Media is where you can find us, and you can jump in. Q Jones says host. This was not the same as the civil rights issue that we suffered. All right, Q, my name is Eddie. My name is Eddie. This is Will sitting next to me. Black people weren't sought for breaking the law. They were crazy laws to disenfranchise Black people. I'm not necessarily. I didn't necessarily make a comparison between the two. But I do get your point. But then we have to think about the fact that Jim Crow was about laws being put in place to disenfranchise Black people,
very deliberate,
and also to make sure that Black people did break those disenfranchisement laws.
Right.
And so there was a whole trick bag.
It
going there.
absolutely
And we're
was.
seeing it again, actually.
Yeah.
We're seeing it again with what is the act? Is it the? Oh goodness, it's what is that act called? It is not the Riot Act. It is not the Terrorist Act, but there's an act that was that I believe was put in place. I think it might be resolved in executive order, and is one of those things where every civil rights agency, especially they're federally funded, they have to be very careful. They have to be very careful what they do and what they say, and everybody to scrub their websites of certain terminology and all that good stuff. So it's one of those acts. So it's the same thing. Good morning, Martin Curley. Appreciate you. Again, Shannon Swift, we appreciate you jumping into the conversation. Fern Ware, good morning to you. It is good to see you as always. And also Gloria O'Connor, thank you so much. We can most definitely appreciate everybody who is listening to us this morning. And so we we definitely do have quite the conversation, and something that was pointed out, and let me see who actually posted this, that Don Lemon was arrested, actually.
Yeah.
This happened just hours ago. So reported on NBC News' website. We're looking at NBCnews.com. This is a report that came in at 7:20 a.m. this morning, that Don Lemon was arrested by federal authorities on Thursday night. This is according to Lemon's attorney. He was taken into custody by federal agents last night in Los Angeles, where he was covering the Grammy Awards. His attorney, Abby Lowell, said this in a statement. It is not immediately clear why Lemon was arrested. However, the Justice Department promised to pursue charges against Lemon after he covered the protest in Minnesota at a church last week. And his attorney, Lowell, said, instead of investigating the federal agents who killed two peaceful Minnesota protesters, the Trump Justice Department is devoting time, attention, and resources to this arrest, and that is the real indictment of wrongdoing in this case. Lowell went on to say this unprecedented attack on First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from many crises facing the administration will not stand. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court. And so that is a very recent development. But we do have, now we actually do have calling in Wayne Purcell, and he is the president of the Animal Wellness Action and the Center for Humane Economy. And we're going to be talking to Wayne after the break about new developments in legalizing cockfighting in Louisiana. Eddie Francis in with Will Sutton on the Good Morning Show on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. New York City police are investigating a car crash as a hate crime after a driver repeatedly rammed his car into a Jewish organization in Brooklyn. Here's New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch.
The bomb squad has responded to the scene and conducted a full sweep of the vehicle. The car has been cleared and no explosive devices were found.
No one was hurt, and officers on site arrested the suspect. Luxury brand Hermes is under fire after reports claim the brand used customer data, including home addresses and buying history, to decide who can purchase a Birkin bag. The alleged vetting process has sparked backlash, with critics calling it elitist and invasive. And Lena Waithe, the Emmy-winning creator of The Chi, is debuting a new play called Serenity at Baltimore Center Stage on February 12th. The three-character drama explores relationships and humanity. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show, hour number 2. Eddie Francis and Will Sutton.
Good morning, New Orleans.
The host is in the other seat this morning as he decided to, make way for someone to drive you nuts in the host seat. Hopefully.
It's been good shows. Good shows.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been great hanging out, and I really, really appreciate the audience for showing me love this past week. And good morning to folks who are on Facebook. Limmer Jones, thank you so much. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. But we do have on the line with us this morning Wayne Pacelle. He is the president of the Animal Wellness Action and Center for a Humane Economy to talk about new developments in legalizing cockfighting in Louisiana. Good morning, Wayne. How are you?
Hey, good morning to you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for coming on. Look, cockfighting has been around for a long time, and it's not just in Louisiana or the United States. It's a thing that happens around the world. So a lot of people argue that it's a part of their culture. And it's a part of their culture. It's something that people do for fun and entertainment. And of course, yeah, there's some gambling involved in a number of
Just
instances.
a little bit.
But you're saying it's wrong. Is that right?
Oh, yes. I mean, it's been around for 3,000 years. And, the Romans and the Greeks started it. It spread across the world through colonial activities, and it's been happening for thousands of years. But the United States had the first ban on cockfighting with the state in the 1830s, and by 1900, just about all the states had outlawed this activity. And I think it was really just kind of viscerally that that this is cruel to watch two animals kill each other and just be amused by it and enjoy the bloodletting and then the gambling. And actually, it came back a little bit at some point, and Louisiana actually was the last state to ban it. It was an act in the Baton Rouge Capitol in 2007, and they gave them a year to phase it out, unbelievably. But it was 134-1 in the House, and it was 31-4 in the state Senate. And then Governor Babino Blanco signed the legislation, and it's a settled matter. 50 states ban it. There's federal law that makes it a felony, and it's not just staging the fights. It's also possessing animals for fighting, whether dogs or birds for fights. There's a ban on trafficking and selling the cockfighting implements. What they do is they shave down the spur on the rooster's legs, and they strap a short knife or a long knife or a curved ice pick called a gaff on the bird's legs, and that's what enhances the bloodletting of the fight, and it also expedites the fight. It doesn't go on for an hour or an hour and a half because they get stab wounds in the heart, they have punctured lungs, gouged eyes. And in St. Landry Parish, some of the cockfighters who are engaging in this activity illegally now went to the council and said, hey, why don't we create an enclave of cockfighting? We have 3,100 parishes and counties in the United States. These guys wanted to be the one place in the world, well, I shouldn't say in the world, in the United States, to allow this. And the good folks at the St. Landry Parish Council rejected it. And this is the absolute wrong direction. We should be strengthening the law. We should be stopping this. There's no moral difference between dogfighting and cockfighting. It's barbarism, right? We stopped burning witches at the stake. We stopped, putting people in the gallows in the town square. We stopped a lot of horrible things that humans used to do, and people always claimed it was culture or tradition or history, and we've got to hold up these activities to our existing moral standards.
So I'm just curious, for the people who want to continue doing it, is there that much money in it, or what is their rationale besides tradition and entertainment?
Yeah, I think it's just they like to do it, right? I mean, these people kind of get addicted to it, just like you can get addicted to other forms of gambling. And, you know, they do have an interesting relationship with the birds. I mean, they do value the athleticism of the animals, and they do pay attention to the breeding of the animals. But at the end of the day, they're not appreciating the animals. They're appreciating what they can do. They're appreciating their killing power. They're not giving them the respect that they deserve as a living being. You know, all animals feel pain like humans do. They have their own feelings and wishes. They can feel fear or terror. They can feel happiness and joy. And we have all the power in the relationship. And it's a Christian responsibility for us to be good stewards of God's creation. And to treat them like this just for our amusement is just out of bounds. And that's why, you know, even in St. Landry Parish, where they had a big cockfighting club called the Sunset Recreation Club, it's one of the biggest cockfighting venues in the U.S. before we outlawed it in Louisiana in 2008 and also banned it federally. You know, these people are just holding on. And, you know, it was good. The Attorney General said, no, the state law on cockfighting is resolute. There's no carve-out for any parish. And they're just addicted to this illegal activity. And we see it. There may be 20 million fighting birds in the U.S. I mean, this is not a small matter.
20 million?
20 million. 20 million. Yep. I've been to cockfighting operations. Some guys have 6,000 birds, 5,000 birds.
Wow.
We're shipping 1 million birds illegally to Mexico every year, and we're shipping about 50,000 to the Philippines, which, if you can believe this, gentlemen, right now it's the last day of what's called the World Slasher Cup in Manila. And it's the same venue that Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier battled in the Thrilla in Manila in the mid-1970s. And they have thousands of people who are attending this. I will note that it's all tied in with organized crime. There have been 100 people murdered in the last 3 years in the Philippines based on cockfighting disputes and conflicts over gambling debts. And they had $13 billion wagered in 1 year on what they call e-sabong, which is online gambling on cockfighting in the Philippines. 13 billion with a B.
Wow.
So do you feel that in St. Landry Parish this is dead once again? Or do you feel like it's going to come up again and there's a possibility of the legislators there saying, well, maybe, but with these restrictions?
I think this thing had zero chance from the beginning. Even if the St. Landry Parish Council had looked favorably upon the idea, and it would have been a great embarrassment for the council to have done so, it had no chance of gaining any traction at the state level. Remember, 134-1 in the House in 2007 and 31-4 in the state Senate, signed by the governor. Senator John Kennedy, one of your two U.S. senators, now has a bill called the Fight Act to further strengthen the federal law against animal fighting, to really crack down and increase the forfeiture provisions, ban online gambling on dogfights and cockfights, even create a civil right of action to allow private citizens to help shut down these illegal operations, which are tied in with not just gambling, but tax evasion, money laundering, often narcotics trafficking. The U.S. cockfighters are consorting with the cartels that are controlling the cockfighting venues in Mexico. And, you know, they're mass murders. There were 20 people killed at a cockfight in Mexico with Americans in attendance. Last year, there were 16 killed the year before at a fight. And there were 11 killed at a cockfight mass shooting in Ecuador. I mean, this is a dirty, organized crime business. And Louisiana was smart to outlaw it. I think a lot of people were embarrassed that Louisiana was the last state to do it. But they're resolute now, and it's great that Senator Kennedy with Congressman Troy Carter, so it's a bipartisan effort. Congressman Carter is helping to lead the effort on the House side to pass the Fight Act. So I don't think this thing ever had a chance. It was kind of a foolish idea to begin with, and even if they had passed the resolution, what they were going to do was ask their state representative to introduce a bill, and that thing would have gone nowhere fast in Baton Rouge.
So, Wayne, we're going to take a break right now. You're going to hang out with us for a couple of more minutes?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to take a break because I do have a couple of other questions. Not only just about cockfighting, but animal cruelty. Just a little bit more on that. In the meantime, Wayne Pacelle is joining us this morning. He's the president of Animal Wellness Action and the Center for a Humane Economy. He's joining us on the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis, Will Sutton on WBOK. New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Good Friday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. The city of New Orleans is activating its freeze plan ahead of the Arctic Air. Shelters will open at 4:30 p.m. at the Rosenwald Recreation Center, Ozanam Inn, and the Salvation Army, and also the Low Barrier Shelter. They will remain open through Sunday. Olympic sprinter and former LSU track star Sha'Carri Richardson is facing legal trouble after an arrest in Florida. Officials say Richardson was arrested and charged with speeding Thursday. Police say the 25-year-old was clock driving more than 100 miles per hour on a parkway outside of Orlando. We're told Richardson was also dangerously tailgating and changing lanes to pass other drivers. The arrest marks the latest legal issue for Richardson, who last year publicly apologized following a domestic violence arrest involving her boyfriend. All right, carnival season kicks off in high gear with a whole host of parades happening this weekend. The Crew of Titans rolls today at 6:30, starting at Spartan Drive and Highway 11 in Slidell. And the Crew of Bohem rolls at 7 p.m., starting at Decatur and Mandeville, and rolling through the French Quarter. There are also several parades rolling tomorrow and Sunday, including Crew de Vue, Crew Poseidon, and Thea. Be sure to download our free parade tracker app and front and back end tracking, plus new enhancements like location sharing and closest parking. All right, tonight the Pelicans are throwing a big carnival party in the Smoothie King Center. The fun takes place at the Pels take on the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. There will be a pregame happy hour, halftime performance, and meet and greet with the one and only King Cake Baby. And make sure you get there early because some fans will get a special Pelicans-themed garden gnome. Tip-off is set for 6:30 tonight. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day. Stay warm out there.
This is Monica Pierre along with Sally Ann Roberts Daybone, co-host of Your Power is On.
Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for music that feeds the spirit. Get your Sunday on.
Right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. and WBOK1230.com, the station you listen to all day long.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis, Will Sutton. Wayne Pacelle is joining us. He's the president of Animal Wellness Action at the Center of Humane Economy and the Center for a Humane Economy. You know, Wayne, I was listening to what you were talking about, and my wife and I, we have a Rottweiler, and everywhere we go, people are about to just take off running because they just think that this dog is going to run after them. And I'm like, listen, the biggest threat you have from this dog is that she's going to lick you to death. I mean, she's got the sweetest disposition. I mean, Miss Allegra, a great dog. But we asked ourselves, what are people doing that this strikes? We know that part of it is the movie Cujo, for those who remember that. But we were asking, what are people doing to these dogs that makes everybody else just some people just absolutely terrified of them? Like they'll see her just sitting, wagging her little nubby tail and her tongue hanging out, and they just get really, really, they get terrified, and we have to let people know, no, she's fine, but you'll be fine. Everything is good. We got her under control. So my question is, when you see people who engage in, cockfighting, dog fighting, any other type of animal cruelty event that's done for recreation, what kinds of people are likely to engage in these types of activities?
Well, listen, I'm so glad you got that Rottweiler. They're just beautiful dogs. They're amazing animals. You know, all the different breeds were kind of bred for specific activities, right? You have dogs that are lap dogs. Some dogs are more hunting dogs. Some are retrieving animals. Some are, racing animals. There are many different types of dogs, and we created them, right? So we shaped the way they look. We shaped some of their instinctive behaviors. But Rottweilers and Pit Bull type dogs, they are not naturally mean and aggressive. They can be molded by the people. So you're a responsible pet owner, and you love your dog, so your dog sees that love and feels that love, and that's what the dog gives back to you. And you're socializing the animal around other animals and around people, and your dog is good with all of that. If you treat an animal like an attack animal, and you want the animal to defend your property, and you kind of incite that behavior, or if you incite aggression between your dog and other dogs or your dog and people, then you can mold that dog in that direction. So I think behind every, bad dog is a bad owner, and behind every good dog is a good owner. And this is, again, our responsibility to responsibly care for these animals, not to use them as a weapon, not to use them as a fighting instrument. I think it's fine to have them bark. I think it's fine to have them be protective of your home, but it's got to be within limits. And we can train dogs, right? You look at Cesar Millan, you look at a lot of trainers. This is a big business in terms of making sure that animals behave well. And now, people can learn good practices in terms of teaching their animals on the internet. You go to ChatGPT and get a little regimen on that. But the dog fighters, they are profiting from raising animals to fight. They participate in dog fights, and then the professional dog fighters sell the progeny of those fighting animals, just like happens in horse racing, right? If somebody wants a good racehorse, you don't just buy a horse out of the blue. You go to a trainer who won races in the Kentucky Derby or the Breeders' Cup. The same thing in dog fighting. The only reason that dog fighters or cockfighters are interested in buying animals for fights is because they're working with people who are doing it well, and that is the sickness of this business, but that's the way it works. So, I just conflated a lot of stuff, the fighting with pet ownership, but the use of dogs for fighting is just an extreme and appalling use of animals, use of dogs, who are the first animals that were domesticated. 30,000 years ago, the first animal that became domesticated was the wolf. They began to interact with people. There was a symbiotic relationship, and the whole history of humanity was changed because of dogs, and then later the domestication of about 15 other animals. But I salute you for having that Rottweiler. They're just beautiful animals. I particularly love Rottweilers.
Wayne, I have a question. So obviously a central part of what you all do is fight for the protection of animals and making the distinction between the good use and friendship, I'll call it, with animals versus the taking advantage of and even subjecting them to injury and death. Can you give us kind of a line, whether it's a full line in the sand or a gray line of some sort, the difference between using animals for entertainment and using them for gambling or killing?
Yeah.
I mean, what? Because I know people who cockfighting is an easy thing for them. They're like, that's just so horrible.
Yeah.
But then when you move into things where humans have different kinds of relationships with animals, dogs, cats, horses, then people kind of develop some different kind of feelings about what's okay. So what do you say is okay?
Yeah. Well, listen, this is a really well-framed question, and I thank you for asking it, and I'm really enjoying this discussion with the two of you. I would say, number one, the animals have lives that matter to them. right? They have lives that matter to them just like our lives matter to us. And they can't speak like we can speak. They can't, play the violin. They can't dunk a basketball. But they can do a lot of other things that we can't do, right? I mean, animals have, predators like cheetahs or leopards. They have incredible agility or speed, and birds with these incredible feats of flight. It's just amazing what nature's animals do. And there are a million other species on this planet. We have an incredible planet. I think when we first went to the moon in 1969, they took an iconic picture of Earth. It was this little blue-green marble in this vast, dark area of space. And, now we know we're a tiny little speck in the universe. And I consider this little life zone that we have at the surface of this planet an incredible gift. Whether it's nature or it's God, it is an incredible gift. And we have a million other species that we share this planet with. And they all matter, and they all have their place in the world. And I think we start the discussion by recognizing that these are incredible other beings, and they want to live and they want to survive just like us. They want to have they want to have their families if they're animals, and we should do our best to figure out a way, because we are such a smart and creative species, to live our lives and not hurt them. So I would say there's, as you noted, a totally material difference between cockfighting, dogfighting, and then say like horse racing or greyhound racing, right? I mean, we are opposed to greyhound racing because of the mistreatment of the dogs in many ways, and we had a generation ago 60 dog racing tracks in the U.S. Now we just have 2 because there were so many on-track injuries, and the industry didn't care for the dogs that were not performing well, and they got rid of them. And horse racing, we've worked with the horse racing industry to have no doping rules. Some of the trainers would dope the horses to enhance performance. We know about Lance Armstrong in cycling, and we know about other athletes who, dope to get an edge over their competitors, and that's what trainers were doing with horses. It was putting them at risk. There was also a problem of horses that weren't performing well. They would be sold to kill buyers, and they'd ship those horses to Mexico and butcher them and then sell them overseas for human consumption. I mean, there are practices, when you really kind of peel back the onion, that they're pretty ugly. I wouldn't say there's any easy answer to that excellent question, but I would say that you have 2 metrics. One metric is the animal being caused pain and suffering, or you killing the animal? The second metric is, what is the utility of the activity? If you're just doing it because they're thrilled by the bloodletting, like dogfighting and cockfighting, that's way out of bounds. If you're doing something for food, that's a totally different matter, I think, right? I mean, if you're living in Alaska and you're a native person where you don't have agriculture up in the Arctic, you're killing seals to survive. I mean, to me, that's the most justified sort of thing. Now, when we talk about food in our society now, we know oftentimes that meat production is coming from animals raised on factory farms, where the animals are jammed into cages or crates, and you have thousands of animals at a pig farm just shoulder to shoulder, or the chickens raised for eggs are kept in the worst cases in these cages where you have 6 or 8 birds in a cage about the size of a large microwave. I mean, that is just not right. We have to do better than that. If you're going to take animals for food, the very least we can do is treat them humanely. So you've opened up a big question, and I would just say that looking at the state of mistreatment and the cruelty and then the purpose, we're all going to come down in different places on that. I personally have been vegan. I've been a vegan for a long time. I feel like it's a good strategy for me. I feel it's healthier to eat whole foods and mostly plant-based foods. I think the meat has a number of other issues. So for me, that was the right decision. But if you're going to eat chicken, if you're going to eat pork, if you're going to eat beef, and we use these terms to kind of separate what's a pork, right? It's a pig.
Mm-hmm.
What's beef? It's a cow. This is the way that human beings have tried to separate themselves and not think about the consequences of our actions for these other creatures on the planet. So I would say that we should all be animal welfare advocates. We should all think seriously in a really meaningful way about what we should be doing when it comes to the other animals of the world, because we may look back on this time just like we look back on other eras of human history and say, how could we have done this? How could we have treated women like we did? Or how could we have treated, Africans like we did? How could we do this to this other subgroup? What happened to the Native Americans? This is a big moral question, and we're sleepwalking for the most part through it. But there are obvious answers, as you said, on cockfighting and dogfighting. It gets, a little more tangled on another set of issues.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Wayne. Appreciate you visiting with us this morning, and so you have a great day, and try to stay warm wherever you are, okay?
You guys are great. Thanks for having me on.
You got it.
Thank
All
you.
right. Once again, that's Wayne Purcell. He is president of the Animal Wellness Action and the Center for Humane Economy. So we're going to come back in just a few on the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis and Will Sutton on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Decent start to the day. Highs will be 56 to 62, but then a cold front actively moving in. By the time we get to tonight, 23 to 30 degrees. But then for your Saturday morning, we could be feeling like the single digits and the teens. Saturday's highs only 35 to 40. We could see gusts up to 40 miles per hour, so it's going to be very cold for all the parades, and that cold weather continues into Sunday morning. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happens only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite. So I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funniest story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
What if just $50 could open the door to your new home? Godan's is inviting you to enter their Key to Your Heart house raffle, where one ticket gives you a chance to win a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in the city of New Orleans. The drawing will happen on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Tickets must be purchased by February 12th at 11:59 p.m. Enter now at RAYZE.it/Key to Your Heart.
Hello, this is Ed Murray, and I'm a candidate for State Representative District 97. I'm running because our families deserve a fair shot. New Orleans is changing, and it's time our leadership reflects the future. I'm a father, an attorney, and my commitment is to this community. In the legislature, I'll fight to lower the cost of insurance, strengthen our public schools, and grow an economy that works for everyone, not just a few. I want my son and every child to be able to live, work, and thrive right here in New Orleans. Early vote through Saturday, January 31st for Ed Murray for State Representative District 97, number 8 on the ballot. This message is paid for by the committee to elect Ed Murray.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis in with Will Sutton. Before I forget about this, just a reminder to go vote.
Go vote.
Go vote.
Go
Early
vote.
voting today and tomorrow. Election February 7th. But go vote. We have 3 legislative races happening for New Orleans area. There's a Senate district seat. There are 2 state rep seats. And so go vote by
Please
all
vote.
means.
Please vote. The prediction is that there could be low turnout, which is not unusual for a special election. But in this case, we've got 3 important seats. Not to say that other seats aren't important, but in Baton Rouge, when you say the name Bowie, it's meant something. And more recently, when you go to Baton Rouge and other parts of the state and you say Hughes, it's meant something.
Yeah.
And then you go to Baton Rouge and you go to other parts of the state and you say Willard, it's meant something. And it didn't mean the educator that those of us of a certain age associate with it, a different Willard name or a city council person with the Willard name. This is some folks who have some established oomph in and around Baton Rouge and around the state. And some of it's not as headline snatching as you might sometimes think if the governor does this or the state legislature does that. These are folks who have been intimately familiar with the state laws and the changes, and people who have made some very positive changes for this city and this state when it comes to education and insurance, so many things. Even Essence Festival. I've been deeply involved in things like that, but it's not their names that you see attached to these things, but part of why these things have been made to go is because of 1, 2, or all 3 of these folks. So now we're looking at who's going to succeed them.
Yeah.
Who's going to succeed them?
And we got to keep up the momentum for these seats. So please go out, vote today, vote tomorrow, vote February 7th. So I want to address something really quickly. We've had some comments in Facebook, apparently some bewilderment about the interview that we just had with Wayne Pacelle, and some bewilderment about how this is relevant to us black people, cockfighting. And listen, let me just say this. First of all, we appreciate everyone who listens. We definitely appreciate your opinions. We try to get to those opinions. We try to give everyone their just due as long as you keep it respectful, right? Sometimes we don't touch it in Facebook because sometimes y'all get into it with each other. And we're not touching that. But about this morning's interview with Wayne Pacelle, admittedly, when I saw the interview, I was like, okay, well, this is going to be interesting. Let's see what this is about. And I was educated during the interview. I had no idea how many people lost their lives behind cockfighting. And I didn't realize how people are actually endangered by it. But the other part of this is, and I don't know if you know this for those on Facebook who disagreed with this morning's interview, there are black people who like animals. Newsflash, right? By the way, there are black folks who like all kinds of animals. As a matter of fact, my wife, once upon a time, wanted to be a veterinarian. She would that was what she wanted to do. So she is one of those people. If you refer to her as a bleeding heart behind things like cockfighting, this interview actually, if she had heard, this would have angered her because she loves animals, all kinds of animals. And so we welcome disagreement. We definitely do. We are fine with that. But one question was asked is, who booked the interview? This person needs to be fired. The answer is hell no. The person's not getting fired. As a matter of fact, that person is getting a bell from me. So you do with that what you will. All right, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Absolutely. And like so many things, there are sports and entertainment activities that some people like and some people don't, and some people tolerate. And so I'll use hockey as an example.
Yeah.
Not exactly the black man sport, the black women's sport, in terms of just thinking about who participates and who makes it to the pros. But there have been a number of black people who have done well with hockey. They're just not in the majority, and they're not household names. Same is true in cockfighting. There's some black folks who participate in cockfighting, and they own birds, and they gamble, and this is what they choose. Now, do they also bet on NFL or NBA? Maybe. But at some point, if you are so dedicated to a fight that you're spending a lot of money watching it on live stream or going to the fight and spending the money that it takes to go to the fight, or ramping it up and gambling, and then you're not gambling on one bird or one fight, then you're gambling on others, and it adds up. But that's your thing. Black folks do get addicted to.
Oh, yes. Addictions are something else. And listen, I'm listening to this interview. I'm going to myself. Really, this is what's happening with this. I didn't realize it was that big a deal. I honestly saw it as maybe a bunch of country folk in some barn, like maybe 20 country folk in some barn. I didn't realize it's as big as it is. And the thing that killed me about the interview, that thing was so funny to me, is I'm going, well, this has got to be lucrative, right? This is why they keep doing this. And he's like, no, people get addicted. It's not that lucrative.
We're sending 50,000 chickens to the Philippines to fight.
Now, over there, it seems like it's a...
Yeah, but we're sending them.
Yeah,
we're breeding them too.
Yeah, we're the ones doing it. So, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, and in the words of my good brother, UC Phillips, in the comments, just enjoy the show, brother. Appreciate you, UC. So, Will, there's another story that you sent from NOLA.com after Dookie Chase shooting that shocked New Orleans, 2 arrests and an apology. And what the story says is that New Orleans police have arrested 2 men in connection with the shooting at Dookie's. Ann Kirkpatrick, she said Thursday that Makahi, and I'm not sure if I'm getting that name correct, he's accused of pulling the trigger. Makahi Keller is one person's name. The other, Anthony Johnson, believed to have been the wheelman in this. And in this story, it also says that Kirkpatrick thanked the FBI and other partners for helping her staff comb hours of surveillance and follow up on the tips that eventually led to the arrests. She also directly apologized to a shooting victim from California and to the public, saying that the tragic event was no reflection on the historic Dookie Chase or as the city as a whole. She said, "We're sorry that this event even happened. To you as a visitor to our city," she said, "this is not who we are. We are a city where visitors can come and have a high degree of confidence to know that we're doing everything we can to police aggressively." Now, I want to jump to something that I saw on a comment I saw on Threads a couple of days ago. It might have been yesterday, where someone said they need to move Dookies. And of course, I'm sitting there going, no. First of all, I grew up a few blocks away from there. Yeah. So that's the first level of no.
Okay.
The second level of no is no. I mean, it's
where do they want it to go? Old Metairie?
So I'm like, so where what's your suggestion?
West Wego?
Where did they just pick it up and move it to?
Kenner?
And by the way, are you going to fund this thing?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
so let's stay in New Orleans. You're going to move it uptown?
Yeah.
I mean, it loses some of the connections to the community by moving it.
And this isn't a daily occurrence.
Daily? It's never happened before.
Exactly. I mean, I'm going, what do you think is happening around there?
Right.
I mean, I have been, how many times have I been to Dookie's in the past couple of years? I don't know how many times I've been there.
Right.
So this would have been a shock if I had been there that night. This would have been a shock to me.
As I'm sure it was for every every single person,
Yeah.
inside and outside, at the time that this happened.
Now,
plus, I will say, in response to what that person's saying, Dookies has moved. And that is a part of the business success of Dookies Chases, because Dookies is no longer only over at Orleans.
Right.
Dookies is in the airport.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dookies has other locations. And as I like to tell our visitors, name me one other restaurant, not black restaurant, one other restaurant in the nation that has its own attraction at Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
Name one.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Now, I will play devil's advocate on behalf of this person on Threads. So let me put this on the table.
Okay, let's go.
The brand has gotten that big. Is it time for it to move to a place that I'm thinking this person may, I would anticipate this person may say this, an area of the city that matches the size of the brand? In other words, is Dookies too big for that neighborhood?
So what? We want to put Dookies on St. Charles?
I mean,
we want to put Dookies in the French Quarter. And,
I am wondering what I'm wondering what this person is inferring by it needs to move. You know,
do we want to make Dookies a more event space than a restaurant? I'm just asking.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I know. Listen. It's first of all that neighborhood, from what I have seen, it has improved. I'm not exactly sure what's what on a daily basis, but that's what it looks like. I will say this though, and I personally, I have gotten the opportunity to talk to Chief Kirkpatrick. I would have appreciated an apology, maybe to the neighborhood itself too. I mean, they count too. The people who live around, they want peace too. And so I would like to include them in the apology as well, because
I understand where you're coming from
because those folks, they support Dookies too, and the people of Treme and that surrounding neighborhood, the people of the old Lafitte Project grounds, they count too.
Yep.
They deserve to be included in they deserve to be recognized as well. And I think that Chief Kirkpatrick meant well in what she said. Again, I've gotten a chance to talk to her. And she's someone who, I'll say this, I've never gotten a funky vibe from, so I'm not. Maybe somebody has a different story. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I appreciate I appreciate at least the effort there. But yeah, it did prompt. I will say this. I do appreciate that it prompted an aggressive response. Because on some level they do recognize the value of Dookies to this city and to the country. And I'm one of those people. I remember the days when people say, well, it's time for us to move on from Dookies. And I'm going, no, it's not. No, it is not.
There are more black restaurants in the city of New Orleans and outside of New Orleans than there were when Dookies started.
Mm-hmm.
And Dookies has continued to be a successful business, and they have expanded their brand. And I've never heard anyone with the Chase name say you shouldn't open another black restaurant.
Right.
I've never heard that. I mean, so they welcome folks doing what their family has done.
This same thing came up. My wife and I were hanging out in New York, and we went to Sylvia's.
Oh, Sylvia's.
And we talked about how there was the same conversation about Sylvia's. Maybe it's time for us to move on from Sylvia's. Man, let me tell you something. I had that meatloaf. I'm like, no, Sylvia's doesn't need to go anywhere. I was like, Harlem, you are tripping.
Yes.
You are tripping, Harlem. Sylvia's doesn't need to go anywhere.
No.
Not anywhere.
No.
We got Raquel on the line this morning. Good morning, Raquel.
Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Raquel.
Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning.
I was just calling to tell Will, let me find out you had the Batman this morning show today. Not today, huh? Not today, huh, Will? No.
There you go, trying to start something.
Wait a minute.
Hey, I'm a team player. I'm a team player, Raquel.
All right, I'm going to believe you today, Will. Okay? I'm going to believe you. I promise I am. But, Mr. Eddie, I want to say that you've been doing a great job hosting.
Thank you.
And stuff. So, I tell you, good job for that. And also, I wanted to give you all a little backstory for us with the topic on Dookie Chase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I can remember one day, I say maybe 2000s, maybe late 90s, I had a privilege of Mama Dookie, I guess realizing the bad day I had. I remember that was the side door on Arlene she had open for the bar, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And one day I was feeling so bad. I was down, and the attitude and mood it was horrible. And Mama the kid seen that, and she was like, "What's wrong?" Like, I forgot what the situation was, but it had me feeling bad. And when I say I was hungry too, so that's why I went up and I told him I wanted to get me something to eat. When I say Mama Dookie gave me those bowl of red beans, when I say it was a recipe for happiness, joy, I will never forget that bowl of red beans that I had that day. And actually being served by Mama Dookie herself. Yes. So I would never, ever let Dookie Chase them go. If anything, Dookie is like, I would say, a remedy, a feel-good remedy for our people of New Orleans. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much, Will, for taking my call.
Absolutely.
And keep up the good work, Eddie.
Thank you so much.
I do know your double brother, too, Eddie. I know your double brother, too.
Oh, which one? Because I got a few of them. Thank you so much. I appreciate
All right,
you,
Lord's
Raquel.
blessings.
All
Lord's
right.
blessings.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Lima Jones said, moving on from Dookies is like moving on from Zulu. Ain't going to happen. That's blasphemous. Thank you, Lima. All right. You redeemed yourself with that one, Lima. You redeemed yourself. Joshua, thank you. Good morning. Thank you for jumping in. Joe, Chris, thank you so much for jumping in. Karen Marks and Jacqueline Wilmore, thank you so much for jumping into the discussion this morning. We got Sabrina on the line this morning. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm just beginning to call this early in the morning because I am a school bus driver now, and I get off close to this time, so I have been able to listen to you all quite a few mornings. I don't always get in, but the both of the things go together for me because I consider myself a stop the violence advocate. I do a whole lot in the city, and it'll probably soon be getting more noticeable because I'm, trying to promote it more. So I'm just talking and being it all over the platform of New Orleans, and so definitely the tragic touched home, and especially to include a business in it and black owned and as much history as it has. And where I begin to really know the history was Black History program at Einstein School about 3 years ago. A young lady highlighted Dookie Chase and talked about the history of her and how she became this person in the particular community, and for the fact that it wasn't a whole lot of fine dining restaurants considered for blacks. And so this is what she was trying to deliver, and we don't want to take away from that, and in particularly in the community that they chose at that time for the reasons that they chose it. I do agree, yes, expand and go out, but this has been an inspiration to us to have one of the oldest black-owned businesses in New Orleans still standing, still profitable, and still carrying a name that touches households. I wouldn't have, to me, in my personal opinion, chosen that person to do a report on, because I didn't. I did many, but I didn't choose that person. But I was proud that that person, that young lady, had chosen Dookie Chase to put some emphasis on for us and remind us that, in the time that it was a struggle to get in particularly Black-owned businesses at the time, that they did it and that they're still standing strong. And we need that represented in our community. So I would beg that they not remove Dookie Chase from the community that may need it the most, and especially the local dollars hopefully stand in that community.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Sabrina. Appreciate you calling at all. Trust me, it is not going anywhere. And we're not going anywhere for the next couple of minutes. It's the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis, Will Sutton on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
To a dark and sinful world comes redemption. Oh, what a gift of salvation. When Jesus returns, will he find faithers on earth? For the answer to this mind-boggling question, tune into FIJTC, Faithers in the Jesus Christ, every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. on WBOK. Follow us on Facebook at FIJTC Write-Ups and on Instagram at FIJTC 420s.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-311-5977. That's 800-311-5977. 800-311-5977.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Eddie Francis with Will Sutton. And it has been a great week. I really, really appreciate the folks from the good old Good Morning Show audience. It was a lot of fun, actually.
Good.
Yeah, it was. Good. It was a lot of fun.
Good.
I tell you,
people.
The rotation of partners this week has been very interesting. In a great way. In a great way.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you this, man, this weather tomorrow morning, we're expecting.
Going to be in the 20s.
It's going to be in the 20s.
Going to go up to the low 40s.
Yeah, but the wind chills
20s and 30s.
Yeah, wind chill's gonna have it feeling like the teens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we expect a heck of a wind chill. So definitely do what you got to do to prepare for that, please. Please prepare for that. And Black History Month is starting on Sunday. Yeah.
Yep.
So happy Black History Month to you.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
So
go
this is
go out and do your
start
thing.
of Black History Month on the first Sunday of the month. So for those of you all who go to church and certain kinds of church, then first Sunday, Communion Sunday.
Yeah.
So
yes,
Communion Sunday and start of Black History Month.
Go get your juice and your wafer.
That's right.
So, having grown up Catholic, I will never forget the first time I went to, I think it was a Baptist service that I went to after not going to a mass for the first time or whatever. And it was a Communion Sunday. and I got the little juice cup in a wafer. I was like, "What is this?"
Right,
And
right.
So
Individual, just for you.
I went with a frat brother, and he was just like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "What is this, man?" And he goes, "It's communion." And I was like, "Okay." And then I tasted it, and I was like, "This is Welch's? Is this
Yeah,
juice?"
right.
And he's like, "No, man." And he just looked at me, and I said, "Listen, man, Catholic Church. I mean, you know." Some people
The
go to
chalice.
church. Some people go to church to get that sip.
Absolutely.
Just to get it.
Yep.
But yeah, Communion Sunday, or wherever it is, and listen, if you decide to take part in the protest, the No Ice protest, either today or tomorrow, please be careful. By all means,
Absolutely,
be careful.
absolutely be careful. And
Be smart.
It might sound like that makes no sense, but have your identification with you.
Yes.
Have your phone with you, and make sure that people know where you're going, so that somebody can reach out to you, and you can reach out to somebody, because they say they're going to have more targeted approach on this stuff, but if they know there's a whole lot of people going someplace, we don't know what might happen.
Targeted becomes a loaded word in that
Yes.
case,
Yeah.
a very loaded word. And if you got to save somebody from themselves, then save them from themselves if you have to do that.
Yeah,
'cause-
and whether you are participating or not on today and tomorrow, on Monday, I would love to hear from you what your experiences were. Are you enrolled in school and you didn't go to school?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
work and your business was open but you didn't go? How'd you handle that? What was the reason you gave?
Yeah.
And or did your business close and say, you know, we're going to close and we're going to support this thing? To not show up in a lot of spaces, I'm really curious to see how this is going to go.
Yeah. And the thing also to remember is that when you have a massive protest, if the protest reaches critical mass, you're going to have those drone, you're going to have that drone video that's going to show just how much people are coming out against these actions. And that is going to speak for itself. And so just know that just being out there in the first place is something that speaks for itself. So you may not need to engage in any way. And I would say also, for people's safety, just remember you're dealing with some people who are undertrained and they have weapons. And I think that's an important thing to take into account for
Please
your
do.
safety and the safety of other people. But
Yep.
but be safe.
Yeah.
Make the statement, but be safe.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Jared, thank you so much. It's been great working with you all week long. And Will, good seeing you as
Always. Yep.
My second favorite Hamptonian.
All right. I accept that.
All right, you have a great weekend, and if you go out to the parades, make sure that you stay warm, and make sure you keep the little ones warm, and the plants and the pets and all those other good beings. I'm Eddie Francis. Will Smith, The Front Porch is next. It's the Good Morning Show on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.